Peace. I wanted to talk about some things that have been like disturbing me pertaining to the messages I'm getting in the music versus the real life reality of what's going on. And at first I was thinking, well, maybe the messages that I'm getting from certain people about certain things is not really from that person directly to me, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe they're just channeling somebody and they don't really know it's me, right? And then they start using my name in the music, like more directly and shit. And so I said, no, they're talking to me and they're talking about the different shit that I'm going through, right? And I'm like, I wonder if they're helping me or not. If they're just saying this shit to let me know that they know what the fuck going on, but they're really not doing anything to like help me. You feel me? They're not making shit easier for me. They're just basically talking about what the fuck they know that's getting ready to happen, whether it's good or bad or already happened. Then I realized that there's really only 2 or 3 people that I'm listening to in the music. Like, I know I'm getting messages from these people in their music and in other music. So I'm realizing everybody can't necessarily control their messages. You know what I mean? Like, whatever they're trying to say in that song to make me think a certain way or whatever is not necessarily the message that everybody else is getting, because a lot of words are jumbled and stuff like that, and then depending on like where you're at mentally or whatever you're going through, you might hear different words when you listen to that song a different time. But the bottom line is, within these songs there's rituals, because I noticed that when I first listened to an album, depending on who it is, that person will make me do certain stuff, or whatever they're saying, it'll make me respond a certain way, whether I start dancing, singing, or walking, getting up, walking somewhere, and I'm just kind of like thinking, oh, I'm just living my life, and then I find out, oh, the shit, there was somebody down here that met up with me, and then, and that's why I got up. And then I remember, oh, I started listening to this song and something said get up and leave. But it's not like a voice saying it. It's just like me obeying that particular person for whatever reason. So I'm realizing that 9 times out of 10, when I'm getting messages from Nipsey, they're literally messages to keep my ass out of harm's way. Meaning to make my journey as easy as possible. You feel me? And to, relieve my stress, and to show me that the love is real, and that the music that they made was to make this situation as easy for me, not to fuck with my mind and have all these different variations of what could be being said, but really, I gotta figure it out based on this and that. And that's why I trust him so much, because the shit is fucking plain English. But he did control my body the first time I listened to his album. Yeah, and so I've been listening to music that's from, look at that cat. Yeah, I've been listening to music, and I've been realizing that a lot of motherfuckers is playing me. They're trying to act like they really want to help me, and they don't. They're just trying to make money off of me and my stories, because the story is pretty amazing, and the love is pretty amazing. And so it makes a good story. Like, for instance, the Kid Cudi album. He's talking to me, and he knows that whatever was going on within these musics from years ago, that it was a lot of love there, And so I'm like kind of holding on to that love because I like it. And then in different songs, like in that song on Ty album, he's talking about no matter what, I'm still gonna love you and all this shit, right? You know, whoever he's talking to, okay? And he lying, right? He's playing the devil because he said, show up at Mulholland Drive and that's gonna be the remedy, right? So I showed up at Mulholland Drive. Might not have been at the exact place in Mulholland Drive, but I showed up there. It was a 2-hour journey for me and a 30-minute walk up the hill and back. And it was nighttime. There's no sidewalks on that street. And I'm on the bus. And I don't have any money. And when I started listening to his album, he had me spend up my money. You see? He had me spend up the money that I have. It says, I hope you know now. I hope you know how loved you are. And I know that's from Nipsey. That's from nobody else but Nipsey, okay? And a lot of people try to act like they're sending me messages and it's like a group message. And it's not. It's not a group message. You understand? These messages are from people who know that somebody's getting ready to try to fuck me over and try to act like that they are really loving me when really they're not. They love their self. And I keep on seeing different celebrities post on their page, love yourself. You gotta love yourself and don't love nobody else. And it's like, how does life work like that? How do you love yourself and don't love anybody else? And why are you having such a problem loving yourself? What the fuck wrong with you motherfuckers? Like, I love myself. I've never had an issue with loving myself. I never am. You know, there might be times that I wish I was not looking as crazy as I'm looking. Like, I feel like I'm looking crazy now, but I know that could be relieved. You know, I'm 43 years old. I could be looking a lot worse, especially being that I've been out here homeless this whole time. So, you know, they're trying to play this shit like, oh, you're giving this nigga Kid Cudi all this attention when you need to really just give the attention to yourself and love yourself. But it's kind of like, nigga making songs about what the fuck I'm going through. And he's saying he love me. He's saying he gonna come pick me up. He's saying he see me. Like, when I figured the motherfucker was somewhere around watching my ass, he was somehow. He's watching my ass. Somebody see me in the mirror, in the bedroom where I stay at, in the bathroom where I stay at, can see me in the mirror. How if I come up there to Mulholland Drive, that's the remedy and all this shit. And it ain't no fucking remedy. Because Nipsey said the same thing in his music, right? Nipsey said, if I show up on 59th and 5th Ave with some vanilla wafers, that's the remedy to separation. And I went there, and he was in my body. He walked me out there. And I have the video. And I go out there every once in a while just for the fuck of it. Just for the remembering of the times that we had when I was actually listening to what he said. Or I know he was controlling my body. And whatever happened to me at that time, it wasn't nothing that was bad for me. Because I was happy with the results. Whatever it may be. It might not have been $1 million fucking dollars. But it was what I needed at the time, and he knows that's all I really need. It's what I need at the time. I'm not requiring a whole lot, because at the end of the day, I require loyalty and respect and power. I don't really need money, because that will come along with it, right? So I went up to Mulholland Drive and did that whole thing, and when I came back, they were doing donuts in the street. Right on where I live, on the street I live on, right? And it just made me happy, and I have the videos up there. It just had me smiling, and I just felt great. But I was feeling some kind of way, because I was like, damn, this nigga made this album like he was gonna be there, or he was gonna, you know, he knew I was coming up there, and for me to be there, right? And so I'm like, he didn't come, well, whatever, it doesn't matter, because Nipsey made sure I was going to be feeling good anyway. This motherfucker might have been trying to make me feel bad. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, I hope he wouldn't be trying to make a fucking album saying all this lovey shit and then pull something fucked up to make me feel bad. Like, why would he do that? He's so against people committing suicide and all this. Why would he try to put that mental stress on me when he know that the last time I saw that he had got a girlfriend or whatever, I flipped out. And they ended up sending me to the mental hospital because I was going off. Not off like crazy. I didn't do anything really to be sent to the mental hospital. But I was acting a little, I was talking a lot of shit. Because I know this motherfucker is in people. So I know he could hear me talking shit. And I knew he was doing it on purpose because, like I said, last year when he did that video, that interview with Nigo, he said his ass was single. And he was making a song about intergalactic love and all this shit, and how he's in the search for love and he ain't never really been in no relationship and all this shit. And so I'm like, well, he's single and he been talking to me through the music and shit. It's for, he been knowing because I've been sending him messages. He been knowing that I'm getting these messages for over 2 years now. And he know I'm in love with his spirit, and he claim he in love with mine and he my husband, all this shit, right? So why would he get him a girlfriend? What kind of sense does that make? It just seems like you're trying to fuck with my spirit. And men do that, especially men that are assholes. And I've had men do asshole shit. Like, there was this particular guy that I keep on talking about that I was dating long distance. And he was like a Muslim dude. He wasn't really Muslim, but he was trying to play that shit. And so he was on this whole, I'm in a dual, I want a second wife type shit. You feel me? And then he ended up breaking up with this lady, and then he was like a single man. Well, he was always single because he's in this, they can have more than one wife type shit. And then when he really, really was like out of the relationship with that lady, he had an opportunity to come be with me. And when he came to be with me, he showed his fucking ass, right? But I kind of like had this feeling like I kind of loved him, but it really wasn't love because of the way he was treating me. It was love, but it wasn't like when I was really in love with somebody and they treated me good back. And it was a reciprocal kind of love. It was just more like he was still playing games. And then I found out he was like a fucked up person. Like, he was into pimping and shit, and making videos of bitches fucking and shit and sending it to different people to see if that person wanted to buy that lady, and just all kind of weird shit he was into. I was like, what the fuck? This dude is a piece of shit. And then he was still trying to like play me, you feel me? And then I was into the science, and I had made some trust, and I have my own theory and my own philosophy and mind state on these trusts and how the shit should go down, right? And so I had put that information, in my trust. And I gave him the science of where my mind was at and how you can use it. And come to find out, he started going around selling people this trust. And that was my information. And he never gave me no money for it. And he really never helped me because he actually lived with me for like 3 or 4 months. And I felt like he was gay too. I kind of know he was gay. But he was acting like he was, like women. But he was kind of like dogging women out because he dogged the girl that he was with out. And he was acting like he was taking care of her, kind of find out she was taking care of him. She had got like some payment from her father, and he was living off of her money. And the whole time he was telling me that he was taking care of her, and he was this smart guy that knew all this stuff, and it wasn't the truth. Well, that particular person, he made music too. But there was a certain, everybody has their signature of how they get down and how they act or talk, or certain phrases that he says. Well, whatever his phrase was the same shit Kid Cudi's phrase is. And that song, Surfing, a little laugh he did or something like that, it was the same laugh that this dude did. And now that I know what I know, that means he was in that dude, right? Yeah, he was in this dude that dogged me out and basically tried to play me like he wanted to be with me, and I'm a single woman and I'm celibate and I'm not really, and I'm going through all this shit, so I'm not really even looking for no man. So I'm kind of just, like, okay, have a little long distance relationship and see how it go. I'm not fucking him, so it doesn't really matter, because he's not around me. And that's kind of like how this situation is going. And then, I don't know if he ended up getting a girlfriend or not. I don't know. Because we basically broke up in a weird way. And he was living in my apartment. And he moved out right before I came home. And I was going to move anyway, so it didn't really matter. I was moving out of the state. But it was a weird way we broke up. So it wasn't like we were really arguing, but we kind of were, because he wasn't trying to pay the bills. And it was weird because he said, I'm going to pay all the bills and I'm going to do everything for you that I should have did for these 6 years. It was like 6 years or something, five or 6 years that I was like talking to this dude. Hey. Little dog. Hey, puppy. What? She was chasing after me. But he was full of shit. And he really wasn't my type. He was like little, had little skinny legs. He was like not attractive to me physically, but certain things around how he was acting made me attracted to him. And it just kind of reminded me of the same situation. At the end of the day, he called himself dogging me out. But I really was mad because he tried to play me. I really wasn't mad because I'm just taking a little walk. I really was. Okay. So it was almost like he was just there to like keep my mind and my heart occupied while he did some fuck shit to me. You feel me? And that's kind of how I feel about Kid Cudi, because one of my peoples that I be around, I would start telling her, I was like, okay, this motherfucker talking to me in the music. I'm going to show you a video where I'm saying this, and in this song on this new album, he's responding to what I'm saying. Like he said, they got mad because they said don't call her back. And he decided to call me back anyway, because the whole fucking album, he's responding to what the fuck I was saying in my videos and how I've been feeling and acting. Specifically on that song September 16th, when he says, you see somebody in my arms and I close my eyes and I see your face and I'm in trouble, right? Which basically is what happened, because he had posted a picture of him sitting on this white lady's lap, and I was like, ugh, what man wants to sit on a woman's lap, and what woman would want a man to sit on her lap? That's just like, niggas, you gay? Or what the fuck? Are you a bitch in a relationship? I can't really fuck with no nigga that's not attractive or whatever. I didn't put that in the video, but I just made a video about men wanting to date certain women when these women have bad energy, or they're making a fool out of this fucking man for whatever reason. And so I was like, why the fuck would you even want to fuck with somebody like that? What's going on with you? And I posted the video on September 16th. And so my friend was like, let me look through these pictures of this picture you're talking about. So she looked through the comments, and on the comments it said, oh, that's his girlfriend. That's what that song September 16th is about. I'm like, well, this fucking song talking about him being in trouble. That really ain't no love song. You know what I'm saying? And it's responding to what the fuck I'm saying. And she was like, okay. So she looks through the messages, because I was like, maybe he really doesn't have a girlfriend. People hang out with people, and if they don't come out and say, oh, I have a girlfriend, because he hasn't came out and said he has a girlfriend. He ain't publicly came out and said, this is my girlfriend. So that could be anybody, because celebrities and stuff, they take pictures with women. They pay models and shit to fucking go out on dates with them and shit. So, and plus, like I said, the year before, he said he was single. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck going on? And so in the comments it said, oh, that's his girlfriend. He got a tattoo of her name on his neck. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? What kind of slave shit is this? This motherfucker didn't tattoo You didn't tattoo somebody's name on your ass. You're not even married to this lady, supposedly, or you're not putting it out there in the public. So you're really just not being honest with your fans, if that's the case. But whatever the case is, your ass said you were single the year before, and you know you've been writing these songs to me, and you didn't put it in this damn album that you've been watching my ass for this whole fucking year and a half. Because the shit that you're talking about is the shit that's been going on for this year and a half, and I've been sending message and tagging him in these messages, in these videos and shit. And so I was thinking, damn, if this was like in the beginning, I might have gotten mad. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I had put a video out. I had put a video talking about, you know, how I flipped out when I seen him. I guess it's the same bitch. When I seen him with this bitch, it kind of upset me or whatever. So I'm like, who the fuck make this nigga get a tattoo of somebody and then turn around and make an album talking about my ass? They're talking back to me, knowing that's going to be like, oh, okay, you know, finally he responded. That's my husband. We have this spiritual relationship, and he going to come get me, because that's basically what the fuck he's saying in the album. He's going to come get my ass. He's like, go up to Mulholland Drive, and it's going to be, you know, the remedy to whatever's going on with you. Like, I'm gonna come save you, bitch. And then I see this message, and so I'm like, okay, I'm not really mad, because like I said, Nipsey made sure that when I got back to my neck of the woods, and my ass was okay. And some of his people was there when I was on the way up there. There was somebody waiting at the bus stop. They didn't get on the bus, but they was there. And then when I got off the bus to come back to home, that same person was there just looking.